Yesterday, a mother and her boyfriend were arrested after remains of a child were found. 35-year-old Gloria Williams has been charged with injury to a child by omission, and 31-year-old Brian Coulter has now been charged with murder. Williams' family says they haven't spoken with her in months. It's a story you'll see only on 2.
How did we get to this? How could you not reach out and just be like, y'all, I've lost control. It's not in a good space. And we would have taken all of the kids.
The children had been living with their brother's skeletal remains for nearly a year. We have team coverage for you tonight. Rochelle Turner has more on the investigation.
But we begin now with Taisha Walker with the story you'll see only on 2. Taisha, what else did the family have to say to you?
Lauren, the family says Williams basically was estranged, that they would hear from her on and off. Her number was always different, as well as her address. In fact, they said they didn't even know that the family was staying at this apartment complex because the last time they met them over the summer, it was just the boyfriend who came outside of the apartment complex a 15-minute drive away.
I seen the news or the news article about the kids, but I never thought it was her.
Christy Smith and everyone sitting on this couch is related to Gloria Williams. The 35-year-old mother of 6 is charged with injury to a child and tampering with evidence, while her 31-year-old boyfriend is facing murder for the death of her 8-year-old son, Kendrick. Harris County deputies say Kendrick was beaten and his corpse was left to decompose for 11 months inside of an apartment the couple abandoned to live elsewhere.
Kendrick was autistic. To my knowledge, when he would come around our family, all he did was smile.
Cousin Yasmin Craig says Kendrick was mostly nonverbal. She says as a family, they offered to raise Kendrick when he was younger, but William refused.
My mom has been asking for Kendrick since the day he was born. All because we knew that all these kids, eventually, she was not going to be able to be the best parent she can be.
Family members say Williams had 6 kids, including the 3 surviving boys who were also living in the apartment, and 2 girls, whom she no longer has parental rights. Melody Robinson has full custody of the youngest daughter and says CPS told her this late last year.
Because Gloria gave up her rights to her and she failed the first child, that they would be going in to take all the other 4 boys.
The family says Williams was estranged, only reaching out for money, always saying the kids were fine.
Anytime we did go help, where the kids at, how they doing? Oh, they in school. Yeah, it was always doing. So we never had an apartment number. She always be like, okay, I'm gonna meet y'all at the front of the apartment.
Another question so many viewers have been asking, aside from where was extended family, they wanted to know how was Williams able to pay the rent here with these kids living here by themselves. The family members that I spoke with say they believe with disability checks that she was receiving for some of the kids. We do know not only Kendrick had autism, but another one of those 4 boys that was living inside of the apartment complex behind.
Coulter went before the judge this morning for the very first time. He's accused of killing an 8-year-old child last November and leaving his body in an Alief apartment.
And as we have reported, 3 children were also found abandoned at home on Sunday. Their mother, Gloria Williams, is also charged in the case. KPRC2's Brittany Jeffers has the very latest from downtown Houston.
Today is the first time since we have seen Brian Coulter since his arrest. And today, when that courtroom, when the judge formally read his charges to him and asked if he understood, he then repeated the charge as well as the possible sentence back to her. Now, he is charged with murder in the death of that 8-year-old child whose skeletal remains were found inside of an apartment last Sunday. Now, he also signed a legal consequences form today on an emergency protection order. This states that he's not allowed to have any direct or indirect contact with any of the 3 surviving children in that home. Part of his bond condition states he'd be required to wear an ankle monitor as well as be under house arrest and not have any contact with the co-defendant, his girlfriend, and the child's mother, Gloria Williams. Williams is charged with injury to a child and tampering with evidence. Now, bond in this case does remain at $1 million. And one of the chief prosecutors with the district attorney's office, Andrea Bell, tells us she believes this was a respectable bond given the charges and believes it takes community safety into account. Still, she says this case has been tough on everyone involved.
So as one of the chief prosecutors in child fatality, this is the only type of case I deal with. I I will say that this particular case is such a gross deviation from what we expect humans to behave like, that it's been very emotionally difficult and taxing on the investigators, the DA's office, and the priority should be making sure that the surviving children get all of the help that they need.
Now, something else to note in this case, the presiding judge, Judge Morton, recused himself this morning. Instead, Kelly Johnson filling in. Now, this means that this case will now be transferred to a new court and will likely impact Gloria Williams' court hearing date. She was supposed to appear tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, but the district attorney's office tells us this will likely be pushed back until next week.